Hello, everyone. We are back with Kentucky Route Zero, Act 3. And this act is going to be our longest yet. This video is 45 minutes long, and I sped up a lot of parts because there are a lot of long periods of time. This probably took me about an hour and a half or so, probably even maybe a bit longer because I sped up a lot of parts. But there are 5 achievements in this, even though it is longer, so that's great. So hopefully we can get a lot of achievements done, and hopefully this guide helps. So there'll be a lot of parts where I'm not talking because there's just these long waiting periods. But I'll try to be as descriptive as I can for anything you need to know. Starting off here, we're going to head straight south towards the player, you. And once we hit this lamppost here, in this area, you won't be able to go further south, so just hitch a left once you switch to this character here. Down and to the left. And once you get farther down here to the left, you'll see this person with a little boat here. We're going to talk to them. And so just talk to them, then you're going to click, did you make that boat? Like I did there. Press OK. And we're going to let that boat drift for a while. And this is actually a two-parter. This is an achievement we're going to get right here. But this is required for another achievement later on, so it's a two-parter. If you don't do this, you're going to miss several achievements. Now Flora will talk to us again. As you can see, there's a chat bubble above her. I thought we had to watch till it's floated completely off screen, but not by the looks of it. You can just talk to her. And what you have to say here is just barely if I squint. And this will unlock the achievement Say Something Romantic for watching Flora launch her paper boat. And we'll come back to this later when the second part of it is available. Right near the end of the act, so it's not for a very long time. But I thought for perhaps you had to watch this go completely off screen, so I make sure it just does just to be safe. Because I did that, I know it works, and I cannot necessarily confirm that it wouldn't. If, like, that you would still get the achievement if you left right then and there. I would think so, I don't see why not, but I made sure it went completely off screen. Now we're ready to move on. We're going to go back to the truck. And we're going to start driving. And I'm not sure if anything specifically is required here, but I knew we were just going back to the highway, so I said, let's just look for another station or whatnot. Because what's going to happen here is when we move on, we're not actually going to get to where we're going, so it probably doesn't matter what you click. But you can see we're back on the highway. That's why I avoided the option to say we're going back to the zero, because I wasn't really sure. But as we move, we're going to break down. So there's going to be a lot of quiet parts of me talking because there's not a whole lot to say here. Once we're broken down, you're going to pick the truck and we're going to talk about a plan. What Shannon's going to do is she's going to call for help to get a tow truck out here to help us. And then we're just going to check in with her afterwards to see how that went. Then we have to wait around, so we're going to talk to both Ezra and the dog. And you'll see what happens once we do all of this talking. Just going through all the dialogues. Because it does take a bit of time here. Just making sure we talk to everyone and do everything that we can. And here's where we're checking back in with Shannon to get the update on the tow truck, which is good. But the tow truck's not what we're going to be pursuing in this game, so that doesn't totally matter. It just helps us advance, but there's going to be something else that we're going to be doing. So like I said, I'm just clicking all the dialogues, going through all the dialogues, moving this mission along, or this part of the act, I should say. And you can see there I had lost my cursor. And this is what we're looking for. This is the next part of the mission. So we've got Johnny, I believe it's, Junebug here. And they're going to drive past us eventually. And what's your goal to do? Like, the goal is, I just kind of skipped through the conversation a lot. I tried to be cognizant of any sort of dialogue in which it referred to us. Because what you're essentially trying to do is one is convincing the other to slow down and help us, our main characters that broke down. And you can see that there's us, they're driving past us. So you can see we better keep moving. And I saw this just for a few minutes, which made me think that was the option we had to click to stop and help them. I didn't see what the guy said beforehand, or the person said beforehand, so I'm not 100% sure that was in response to us. But yeah, we're just trying to convince them to slow down, or they're trying to convince each other to slow down, in which they do. Here they are coming in to help us. Basically now we're all just going to talk. Just trying to be polite in my conversation a little bit. And we're going to get their help. Just a lot of dialogue, a lot of things we're going through. But like I said, we're going to get the truck up and running. And we're good to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head east. Right now it's east. But we're heading northeast on the Interstate 65. And we're going to go up past Equus here, up past Marquis Farmhouse. And then soon after, right here, we're going to hit your right. It's where the arcade is. That's how you know when to turn in. I turned off early. But we're not going to the arcade. We're going to the tavern. And fair warning, this part is going to be pretty long. Longest part to date. And there's no achievement or anything like that in this section. It's just going to be a really long section. If you like music and whatnot, or if Easter eggs and just plotline, storyline interest you, you might appreciate it. I'm going to speed it up because it's a very long time. But we're going into the bar here. And we're going to talk to the bartender. And essentially what's going to happen is Junebug's going to put on a performance. So we're just going to talk to the bartender really quick because we're going to need their help. And we're just saying, like, how about some music? We brought some people. And we're like, I selected here, don't you want to hear some music? Like, we're telling them, yeah, we're going to get someone going. And we're getting one of these newcomers that we have, Junebug, which we're going to click on right there. And she's going to take the stage. So here goes Junebug. And Junebug's quite literally going to blow the roof off this joint. As you're starting to see here. I mean, not technically. I guess like it's just breaking apart and floating. So it's more of a vision, like not a reality sort of thing. It's just something cool. But I let the roof float up here, and then this is where I'm going to speed it up quite a lot. And because of that, it's going to cut out a lot of the music, but it's something you'll come across and hear once you get to that point. So I actually thought I was just listening at first. You can see the moon skip, and that's because I didn't click on anything. Make sure to click one of those lyrics, and then they'll sing that lyric, that chorus. And like this is very sped up. You can tell because you saw the moon originally going really slow, and now it's just blitzed off screen. Here you'll get another selection. Make sure you click one. They'll sing another chorus. With how sped up this is, you can really tell how long it's going to be. And just load it back down because the roof's coming back, and this part of the mission is done. I probably could have sped up that roof part too, but I thought it was just kind of cool to see, so I just really sped up the song to cut it all out. But now what we're going to do is we put on the show for Harry, so you can just go straight over to Harry. What we're doing is we're going to get an IOU from Harry. And in this dialogue, I tell Harry that we need to find an entrance to the Zero, which is what we're doing next. So we'll just skip through this dialogue. Ask for the IOU, the entrance. Like you can see here, I say there's the options. We just need to get pointed towards the Zero, and he'll direct us, and then we can move on to the next part of the mission. Now that we are back on the highway, what we're going to have to do is you're going to see this radio button in the bottom left. You need to put it to a certain radio channel. So I flipped it over to FM, cranked it up to the 10. I went a little too high here, but the 103 area, 103.9 roughly is where you want to be. I was thinking that was more over here, but I was in the wrong area. I switched it back over to AM. Once you have the right channel, Shannon's going to stop you. And she's going to say she hears horses. So now what we have to do is we have to go track down where those horses are. I'm not sure if it's a specific location. My understanding was you just kind of had to drive around until it triggers. But you'll see exactly where I got this, where I discovered the horses. But I'm not sure it'll be the exact same position for everyone. Like I don't think you could have driven right to where I was to find them. But I mean, it'd be pretty easy to try, so you could definitely try it out and see if it works. So I tried driving along the interstate. Eventually I got to the point where I was like, I'm going to run out of interstate. I'm just going to quickly go into another area. I also switched back to FM, which may have been a bad idea. As you'll see, I wasn't sure how long it would take. And it's not until I switch back to AM that it actually works. So wherever she says she found the horse station, keep it there. Don't mess around with it like I did. But you can see I'm just double checking to see where the radio station's at. And I hit right around this area. And eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back at the radio station. I'm in the upper left corner here. I want to say northwest, but I don't have there's no compass at the moment, so I can't be certain. I go back to the radio, I adjust it a little bit, and I hit the right radio station because it was different on the FM side by a little bit. And here's where those horses we heard are triggered. Now we're back on the 0 where the horses are, as you can see. And we need to find the hull of the mountain. So we're going to head down to the left here clockwise. And it's really not that far. And there it is, Hull of the Mountain King. Sorry, Mountain King. So we're moving on to scene 4. We have to climb the top of him to the top of this mountain that it's referring to. This is a really long scene. There's a lot of long walks, a lot of waiting. So I'm going to do a lot of skipping, as you can see here. My guy is like sprinting, but he won't be. He'll be walking on your screen. So this is all sped up because it took a really long time. As you can probably tell now from how quick he's going. And not just this part, but a lot of this stuff. We're going to be walking around this campfire a lot, so I'm going to speed up a lot of that. Once we get to the top here, just head to your left. And there's people you can talk to, as you can see, but we're going to skip them and go right over here to the old man. And he's going to talk about a computer. Not sure exactly how I'd pronounce it, but I call it like the Xanadu. And it's this program that we're going to be using as we move forward. So now click that option to run over to the Xanadu. This is sped up because this did take a bit of time. Now that we're over here, click the electronic button to try and get it working. I didn't realize it would go into another scene here, but this scene will be really long as well. A very, very long scene. Definitely one of my least favorite parts so far, and you're going to see why in a moment. So we're powering up this machine here. It does a lot of stuff on its own. It's essentially going to bring us to a lot of different areas. Just one for now, but you'll see what I mean in a few minutes. So we can see that it's kind of broken, and that's important for our storyline. Surprising, that was another scene. I didn't realize how many scenes are jam-packed into this part. That is not the long scene. Maybe I'll just stop promising that the scene's coming up, because apparently I don't know, and I'm getting it very wrong. Anyways, sped up, go back over here. Like, this is sped up, I should say. Click the Donald option, run over to Donald. And you're going to tell him the computer's broken. He's going to help us fix it. Or help us find a way to fix it, I should say. Yep, and that's why I didn't promise that scene would be long, because I would definitely have been wrong. A lot of short scenes here. So this brings us to the graveyard, which will only be here for like 30 seconds, a minute. We'll come back here later, as it will progress us in the story, but there's not much to do here for now. So there's some things you could do. You could inspect the gravestones after talking here. But really, to progress, just talk to Junebug right there in the center. And the main characters have come back. So that means we can move on. And another scene. So now that we're back, talk to Donald again. We're going to give him a reason why the computer is broken. I just said, you need to unplug it for a while. That'll fix it. After all that, now we can just run back to the computer and apparently unplug it and replug it in, and it'll work. And here we are fixing the computer. Now this is the really long scene. This part will take like 15 minutes, maybe, like a pretty long time. You're just playing through like a story of in a game within this game. So I just skipped through most of it because I don't think it really matters what you do. I just try to pick options that at the start you want to get to the edge of a hole. So I ran into the forest because that seemed to make sense to me. But then towards the end, you need to eventually lead your way to the Hall of the Mountain King, which is where you are now. You'll see a picture of it. You'll know when you're there. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part. Because it takes a long time of just walking around. But this part's important. At the edge of a hole. You're going to get some options, and you're going to need to click that option that I do there to lean in a bit and check it out. This will kill you in the game, and this will give you the achievement You Died for dying in Xanadu. Once you're done that, I've just skipped on past because this part takes really long. But once you've died in Xanadu, you want to select the option to use a rope and climb down safely. And that will get you down into the cave that we're exploring. So like I said, it takes a long time. You can skip further on in, and I'll try to put in the description. I'll put a link into the part where it'll matter. I mean, I guess it's coming up here anyways, but where it'll matter what you do input. So now we're at the Hall of the King, which means we're kind of in the right area. But we're looking for the program itself, Xanadu. Sort of narcissistic, it wrote itself into the game. So you're going to come to this part where it says hire a new research assistant, assign, sleep. I'm not sure if there's like what the purpose of this is exactly. Apparently, like you can seemingly continue on with this past the point at which I do. So hire some research assistants. Like 1, maybe 2. If you can't hire any more, it'll say you've maxed out the hiring for that day. Then you want to assign them to tasks. I don't know if it matters what. Like, I don't know if I had clicked assign 2 here, would have gotten that done with. You could quickly move over to sleep. Probably be the fastest way you could do that. I just spread the research assistants out because I wasn't sure. And you can see that these numbers change and update. And this is the part where we're going to be able to finally move on from this game. And you'll see how in a second, as I'm kind of skipping through this a bit to assign the research assistants. So now we've come to this section where you get the option to try and quit and start over. You could continue, but this is how to continue on with the game. So press that. Press come on kid, we've got stuff to do. And then it doesn't matter what you pick here, quit game or exit, you can do whichever you like. As well here, eat the lamp, smash the computer, depending on what your choice was. I'm not sure if it'll be the same. But this is where you have to click, maybe we have to wait it out. And that's finally how you get past this game, this really long chapter. Or scene. They're called scenes. I'm calling them chapters. Chapter sounds nice. We're moving into chapter scene 10. Yes, I did that on purpose. So I'll speed this part up again here in a second. But we're going to talk to this person here really quick, to Lula. Because she's returned for whatever reason. I wasn't reading all of that. There was so much going on. And like, it took me 15 minutes without reading all of that. So like, if you wanted to enjoy the story, it's going to take a while. But appreciate the developer's hard work. I'm sure it was very interesting. And, you know, go for it if you want to. But like I said, I'm speeding this part up here. We're running down the mountain. Because this is a long ways up and down. And then we can head back into the night and leave. So now we have to find the bureau, which we're going to drive counterclockwise, so down to the right, until we reach Cathode Ray, right here. Take Route 65, and now drive clockwise, opposite direction. So when I tell you this, this is what I was told in a guide. I looked up like a direction on how to get there, and this is what I was told. What you're gonna see here is I never found the bureau. This didn't seem to work for me. I don't know if I had to keep driving, but at some points I started driving backwards because I was like, nah, this can't be right. I don't think it should have taken that long. So, needless to say, the guide I found, I'm not sure how accurate it is because it didn't seem to work. But maybe if I had kept going, it would have worked. I'm not sure. I don't think so, though. But eventually, you'll get to this point where there's a ZZZ, like a sleeping symbol in the bottom left of your screen. You can see it on my screen now. If you click it, Junebug offers to take over. You have to press, yeah, that's a good idea. If you say I'm fine, you'll just keep driving yourself. But she'll take you straight there. I'm not sure why it didn't pop up. You'll see it will next time. But I just keep going clockwise a little bit and we'll come across the bureau. But before we get there, I want to be clear. Do not click on the bureau. That's how you progress in the game, but that's not what we're doing. We're going to get an achievement here as well. So now we found the bureau from driving clockwise. So from the bureau, what we're going to do is we're going to go backwards from where we were going, drive counterclockwise until we see the TV, which is coming up here really soon. So we're just going around in circles a couple times. And there's the TV. So stop and slowly drive back the other way, clockwise. The exact direction we just came from. You can see I'm just taking it nice and slow. Don't click on the 70. And there's a van. And we're going to go ahead and click on that. Now, for whatever reason, we're the dog. And all you want to do is walk to the far left as far as you can. This will give us the achievement Phil and Jane for finding Phil and Jane on the 0. I was waiting for them to pop up. Where are they? They gonna come see me? Are they at the van? They gonna walk out? I feel kind of silly maybe for not noticing. You may have seen it already, but they're up there on the mountain, just chilling, looking like they're gonna ambush us or something. So we're just gonna turn around and leave them to it. I did click on their van and stuff. I don't think you need to. You just should be able to just turn around and leave. And the achievement will be yours. And now we're just heading back into the night. You can see the ZZZ sleeping option is still there in the bottom left. So I would just recommend clicking it and having Junebug drive you straight to the destination. As you'll see, I'll click it here. I clicked I'm fine by accident. Like I said, make sure you click the option where she drives you. I was debating on doing it myself, but this is just going to be the quickest route. And boom, we're back at the bureau. And we can continue. Now that we're back at the bureau, we're just going to go over to reception, which you'll see the option on the far left there to return to the receptionist, which is Lula, I do believe. Or no, wasn't her name Marianne? Oh, it is Lula now. Okay. So she's going to talk about a ferry that's coming to get us, which will take us to the next part of the camp, or the act. I've used so many words now. Campaign, act, chapter, scene. So we're just going to go wait with our friends for the ferry to show up and take us. So you should recognize this part. I talked about it earlier. we're back in the graveyard. And so you'll see the little boy or whoever it is come out with, I believe it was Junebug. But now we're taking over Shannon and the Conroy that we're going to, I believe. We're going to head into the church. Basically, we're showing you what they did in the church, sort of, because, like, they were gone for like 15 seconds, and we are going to be gone for a lot longer than that. So sit on the bench here, talk to her. And this next part, I don't understand. Maybe if I was like reading stuff, I'd get what's going on, but I don't understand. We're now descending into a secret underground facility, shipping and bottling facility. And I'm not trying to give too much away before we get there, but as you can see now, bottom right corner of the screen, it's run by skeletons. I don't understand why, but we're going to take control of that skeleton. Apparently we like visitors who are humans and not dead, like undead skeletons, and we're going to give them a tour. So this is the last area of the act. It'll also have another additional achievement that we can get that I'm going to show you how to grab. You can notice now it's really bright. I kind of screwed up the order here. We're just going to do this. We're forced into this dialogue. This will just take us out and bring us back. It's going to get darker if you do exactly what I do. If you want it to be a bit easier on yourself, maybe try to attempt this achievement. I'm going to kind of describe it, but I'll show you as well later how to do it. So there's shuttles here. I would recommend going in the shuttle. It's quicker. There's a big place, and we're going to go to multiple areas because of the fact that we're doing that other achievement. So once we get in, going straight sort of downwards will take you towards where the achievement's going to be. You're going to find like a mess hall, barracks, all that stuff. Drive past that to the shipping yard, or the docks, I believe it is. This is the shipping yard. So to the docks, and you'll have to look at the water there. Watching the water will give you an achievement while it's still bright out. So I'm going to show you this first. This is how you progress the act. Doing this is fine. You can still get the achievement afterwards. You just see what I mean afterwards, that it's a little bit darker and it'll be harder to see exactly what I need you to see. So I don't know what happened there. There's kind of a bug like with the vehicle. I was trying to move around to go elsewhere, but I'd already clicked on this truck, so this is where it kind of ropes you into this part of the campaign. So you have to follow the prompts at this point with the truck. So for whatever reason, we're going to help the skeleton. I mean, I can see now that we're part skeleton. Our Conway's left leg is. Yeah, it is Conway. And we're going to do a spot check on the truck. So pick all the options, rip through the dialogue. When I clicked the back, I was like, how are they going to look at the back? And they actually will run all the way around. So if you get through it quickly, try to jump into another one, you'll see he turns around. Doesn't walk all the way to the back. Didn't even check the back, to be frank, because he never got there, but that's fine. They don't seem to care. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen with the drivers? So now that we're done this, I had a glitch. I had to reload this checkpoint. Like, I just reloaded and brought it straight to here. Jump back in the vehicle, and we're going to head back to where we started. But don't stop the vehicle where we started if you're doing this achievement now. If you're doing the achievement earlier and skip to this point to figure out where you're going, I'll show you exactly where to go. So you can see it's a lot darker, so it's not as easy to traverse, but it's fine. So that's where we started, where it says park there. So we're going down like I had mentioned. And now we've hit that mess hall quarters area. So this is the quarters. We're following along down to the right. And now we get the chance to turn inwards, which we're going to do. And now we're at the mess hall, which I also had mentioned. Just keep on driving, because we're not at the docks yet, which, as you can see now, we are. And you notice these, like, blue, we didn't stop here, and that kind of threw me off. So just make sure you park the vehicle. It'd be a lot easier to tell if it was brighter, but you'll see, like, these blue water pumps. Just walk between them and stare at the water. Now, this part is, I had mentioned right at the start of the act, this is a two-parter achievement with that little floating paper boat. So you can see where my mouse is highlighting in the bottom right there. If you look close, you can actually see the paper boat there. If you really want to see it, the brighter time is better. But there's another achievement for, it's called Under the Horizon, for finding Flora's boat in the distillery. And that's it for all of our additional achievements. Now we're just going to quickly head back to where we entered, and we're going to wrap up the act. So I couldn't remember where to go. Just follow the video. I kind of chopped around a little bit because I was kind of messing around, driving around. But it shows you basically directly where to go. Leave the barracks, go up and to the left. Then as soon as you can, turn up and right inwards. And you'll spot the vehicles here. They're a little harder to see because it is dark. I wasn't sure what this vehicle was doing over here, like if we needed it. But don't worry about that. Just head straight up the stairs. Back to where we came from in that secret church tunnel. Or lift. So you'll see you're stopped again. So quickly talk to this guy. And then we can head back up to the machine that we initially saw the skeleton using. So going back up the stairs, we're going to go over to that machine and click on it. But you can see that Conway is walking over and he's going to drink and he's going to use the machine. And that's it. Follow along with this dialogue. And that's the end of Act 3 to get you that achievement. Act 3 for completing Act 3. Did I say Act 3 enough times? I think so. So I'm going to stop talking here. This is just sort of the end little bit. Just follow along with it and follow this dialogue a little bit. And that's the end of the act. We'll see you in the next video. Good luck.